Here we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kalima Abdul Samad, and welcome to the Bidders Conference for the Court Reporting RFP. Here is a quick snapshot of our agenda, what we'll be going over today, and hopefully if we have any questions, we'll get everything answered for everyone, and everyone will be aware of the process and this bid after this meeting. And so a quick overview of what the purpose of our agency is. We are shaping the future of a healthy Georgia by improving access and ensuring quality to strengthen the communities that we serve. And quickly, I'm going to go off camera now that I've introduced myself. And I also wanted to let you all know, Osborne, if you want to put your camera on real quick and just introduce yourself to the crowd. He will be helping to assist with this meeting to show you all how to navigate the Team Georgia Marketplace and submitting a bid when you're ready. And if you want to go ahead. I already told them your name, but
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Osborne Johnson. I sit with the Department of Administrative Services on the agency sourcing team. Thank you today for your attendance and attending the Bidders Conference.
Thank you, Osborne. We appreciate you. So the purpose of this meeting is to provide the suppliers a general overview of the RFP and to give you all instructions on entering proposals in the Team Georgia Marketplace procurement tool. This conference is optional. And if you have any questions or if you need to communicate regarding the RFP before it closes, please include your organization or company name in any communication that you send over to us. And just as an FYI, the information in this presentation will be recorded and will be uploaded to the bid so you can have it as a reference. On this page is also my contact information. The email address, if you need to send any correspondence, is down at the bottom, and we'll share. And this will be, again, this presentation will be shared for you all to reference. The rules of this meeting is that it's imperative you respect the process of the procurement. Please do not speak to any staff members other than me, the issuing officer, regarding the solicitation. We ask that State of Georgia staff not to speak to suppliers regarding the sourcing event going forward. All questions should be directed to me as the issuing officer via the email address that was shared. The state will attempt to answer all the questions relative to this RFP during this meeting. However, responses may be deferred and provided pursuant to the schedule of events. So our question and answer period did end on the 4th, but due to us having this meeting, if there are relevant questions that are asked during the course of this meeting, when we submit the question and answers on the 11th, we will include any questions for this meeting so that all suppliers have all the same information. If you have questions during this meeting, please type them in the chat, include your name and the supplier that you represent so that we can make sure that we get to all the questions and we don't miss anything. So a brief overview of the Department of Community Health. We're the lead agency for healthcare planning and purchasing and oversight in Georgia. Our Division of Medical Assistance Plans is responsible for the administration of Georgia's medical assistance plans, which is Medicaid, a jointly funded cooperative venture between the federal government and the state, which enables the state to provide medical assistance to low-income individuals. As the department's largest division, Medicaid serves approximately 2.7 million Georgians and oversees program administration and funding for all Georgia Medicaid and children's health insurance program services. So that's just give you an idea of what we do here. So now we're going to go over, just give you kind of an overview of the RFP and the purpose of this RFP. There are three main areas where we are seeking court reporting services. First being the Office of Health Planning. Administer the Certificate of Need program and associated health planning functions. And those decisions are subject to appeal. So the Certificate of Need Appeal Panel is a separate state agency from DCH, consisting of independent hearing officers appointed by the Georgia governor to provide administrative support. To review DCH's initial decisions or grant or deny those decisions during administrative appeal hearings. So the Office of Health Planning will facilitate those hearings, and that includes coordinating hearing logistics and scheduling court reporters. So we'll need court reporters for those hearings. Many of those hearings are virtual, majority, if not all. In addition, the second area where we will be seeking services for court reporting will be the Office of General Counsel. They will require court reporters to travel across the state to transcribe administrative hearings involving Office of State Administrative Hearing judges, Medicaid members, Medicaid providers, healthcare facilities, and DCH attorneys. Those hearings will be in person. Furthermore, DCH's commissioner appoints hearing officers to preside over certain administrative hearings involving Medicaid, healthcare facility regulation, other subjects. So we'll also require court reporters to transcribe those administrative hearings as well. And again, the hearings will be held both in person and virtual through a virtual video conferencing system. So that is part of what we're requesting or requiring from suppliers to provide that platform and to conduct these hearings effectively and securely. So the contractor must perform the responsibilities and provide the deliveries as described in more detail in the RFP documents in the contract. So here's a quick snapshot of the schedule of events for this RFP. It was posted on March 28th. Our conference is today. The due date for the written questions was April 4th. But again, as I mentioned earlier, if there are questions during this hearing, they will be included in the response to the written questions, which are due on April 11th. And then the proposals are due on April 28th by 5 p.m. So here will be a list of the required documents that you will need to submit with your bid. And all these documents are available as attachments to the RFP when you go view it on the Georgia Procurement Registry. Mandatory response worksheet, the mandatory scored response worksheet, the cost worksheet, client reference form, supplier responsibility questionnaire, Security and Immigration Compliance Act affidavit, tax compliance form, and a certificate of non-collusion. All of these documents must be submitted with your bid in order for you to be considered. And we'll briefly go over a couple of the documents just so you have an understanding of how they should be completed. The mandatory response worksheet, these questions, you must respond to all of these questions on this sheet with a yes in order to qualify for this bid. Any no responses will result in you just being automatically disqualified. Questions will include general capability, support, and experience. And if it's indicated that an attachment is required, you will see a yes in the column there, and it will tell you how you should name your attachment. So please upload any requested attachments to the procurement system using the name that we provided. And be sure to note where the attachments are required so that you're not missing out on any documents when you submit your bid. The next document would be the mandatory scored response worksheet. And these responses are scored. They're not just simple yes or no. and they require you to indicate if you're going to meet the requirements and to provide a supporting narrative. You can use the space name, the space here or the cell on the actual form to type in your narrative. Most suppliers or most times you will need additional space, and you can upload those as separate documents. The narratives can be as separate documents, and you'll need to title them as such. As we've indicated on the form, there are file names that we have already indicated you should save your files as, so that we can easily locate your answers. To be considered responsive and responsible and eligible for award, you must meet the requirements identified in this response worksheet. The next document is the cost worksheet, and this will be information as far as what your rates are, and this is an actual screenshot of the cost worksheet, so it gives you an idea of what we're asking. The only areas that you'll fill in will be the ones that are highlighted in yellow, and the detailed information for completing this cost worksheet is found on the instructions tab. So there will be a tab that gives you instructions on how to fill this out. So now Osborne is going to go over how you registered and respond to a bid in the system, so that you can have an idea of the process. And if you have never gone into the system, this will be helpful information for you. And I'll stop sharing and let you share your screen, Osborne.
Thank you. Thank you, Kalima. And once again, everyone, thank you for attending this offers conference this morning. And I'm Osborne Johnson. Once again, I'm going to share my screen, but one of the things I do want to state to you before we get started, one way to become a successful supplier with the state of Georgia is to register on our Team Georgia Marketplace application. So if your company has not registered, I will show you where you'll be able to complete that registration process and where you can locate this event, and the NIGP codes also that you would enter on your profile to receive bid notifications from buyers of the state. If I can get a thumbs up, a hand clap that you see on my screen, lead, empower, and collaborate. Great, thank you, appreciate that. Thank you for that hand clap, Brandon. I always love applause. I'm going to come off camera and we're going to go right to the screen, and you can use any web browser if you're choosing. And you're going to type in doas.ga.gov, which will bring you to the Department of Administrative Services website. You'll see Lead, Empower, and Collaborate. Some of you may have come to this website before, and you'll notice that we've had a little bit of a refresh. So we've got lots of information on here for you. You'll scroll down to Services by Division, and you'll see State Purchasing. There's an option here that says Information for Suppliers, so you'll click there. We're going to come to our Information for Suppliers and Georgia Businesses page, and you'll see Quick Links by category. Under Bidder Registration and Getting Started, you'll see Understanding Bids and Contracts. So we're going to choose that option, which will bring us to the Understanding Bids and Contracts page. There are many ways to get to the Georgia Procurement Registry from our website, and also there are many ways to get to the Team Georgia Marketplace application. As you can see, we have the hyperlink here and here, but we also have it on related resources where you can click on those links. Once again, if you need to register, you can click on this option to register to go to Team Georgia Marketplace. But for today, we're going to go to Bid Opportunities, and we're going to go to the Georgia Procurement Registry. And this is our free web-based advertising system. Once we're on the Georgia Procurement Registry, you will see at the top of the page announcements. You can click on the down arrow to close the window, or just click back on it. But please read through these announcements. As you can see, there is a state holiday that's coming up in April of 2025. So you want to pay particular attention to the announcements on the Georgia Procurement Registry. Off to the left-hand side panel, you'll see quick links. The bidding event search, which is highlighted, is where we're sitting right now. We're going to come back to that in one moment. The supplier search. This is where buyers of the state of Georgia can search for registered suppliers based off their NIGP code or based off their minority classification, veteran-owned, small business, women-owned, etc. The NIGP search. This is where you're going to attach NIGP codes to your profile so that you do receive notifications from buyers of the state, or you need to update your NIGP codes on your profile. So let's just type in reports. Let's see if we receive anything. That's not a good word to use. Let's say reporting. Okay. So if I type the word reporting, I receive an NIGP list with some options to use. So if my company manages financial services and is related to credit investigation and reporting, I would use the number 94636 as my NIGP code for my profile. That's not saying that that's an NIGP code for this particular solicitation, but that is how you would locate your NIGP codes to update your profile or to add NIGP codes when you're completing the registration process. But we do use 5 digits for your NIGP code. We have a link for Georgia Certified Suppliers, the link to the Team Georgia Bidder and Supplier portal, and then our GPR buyer login. I'm going to go back to bidding event search. I'm going to scroll down and you're going to see event search criteria. We're going to use a keyword. I'm going to use the word court. And our event status, we can leave it at open, or I'm going to change mine to all. For this demonstration, you can update the government type, entity, and category type if you wish. We're going to click on search. What we're going to receive are all events that have the keyword of court that I use for my search. For this particular solicitation, as you can see, it's listed here with that event ID 41900-DCH0000141. Is Court Reporting Services, and the government entity is the Department of Community Health. We're going to give you that start date and that most important end date, April 28, 2025 at 5 p.m. This event closes in 19 days and it has a status of open. Please submit your bid early. Let's go back over to the left-hand side where we're going to click on that hyperlink, which is going to bring us to the event details page on the Georgia Procurement Registry. We're going to give you the event ID information along with that government entity once again, our buyer's contact information, the email address that we want you to utilize if you have questions, and then the contact phone number. I'm going to give you the description of this event, and then right below that, you're going to see the NIGP codes that are associated with the solicitation, 96172 and 96124. Scrolling back up, right-hand side, you're going to see we have highlighted for you the most important end April 28, 2025 at 5 p.m. So please submit your bid early. Let's go back over to our tabs where you'll see documents. We can view the attachments for the solicitation, and then we have the announcement here for the court reporting conference. Again, on that last tab on the Georgia Procurement Registry for the solicitation, you will see that we are giving you a quick reference guide. So if you do get stuck, you can find the presentation, you're uncertain on how to register, we do have a quick reference, how to respond to the solicitation. We do have a quick reference guide here for you to keep for your reference. And then what we want to do now is click to submit your response. This is going to bring us over to the Team Georgia Marketplace application. Let's see, I am logged in, so give me one moment to sign out. Okay, so once you come here, it's going to give you some different tiles to choose from. So user registration. So once again, if you haven't registered before, you'll click on the user registration option. You'll see unsure of how to register. So if you're uncertain if your company is registered or not, you can click this option. You can enter in your tax identification along with your postal code. You can use business. If you choose individual, you would use your social security number and your postal code, and you'll click submit. The system will tell you if your company is registered or not. Going back over to that user registration tile, register now, This will give you the 5 steps that are included with the registration process. Welcome. We want to know if you're a business or an individual. That identifying information where you're going to give us your tax identification number along with your company name. You're going to choose your NIGP codes. Your business can be considered a minority business. And then also we want to understand if you're a Georgia resident or a small business. So you'll complete those steps. I can't go to the next step because I don't have a tax identification number, just for demonstration purposes. The address, you'll enter your email information, your contact information, and then you will click submit. Once you validate all the information that you've given us in the previous steps, you will be registered in our system. Let's go back to home page and where I'm going to sign in. Bear with me one moment. Appreciate your patience and thank you once again for your attendance today. All right, so I'm logged in. Your page may look a little bit differently based off if you're already registered, so just pay a note to that. You're gonna click on bidding opportunities tile. Once again, submit your bid early. Here, once you're on the bidding opportunities page, you're going to see your invited events. These are events that your company has already been invited to based off your NIGP code. You can click on public events, which is the other option. And then you can scroll down to see if you do see the solicitation that we're trying to respond to. So as you see it, it's listed here, court reporting services. But if you don't see it under invited or public events, we have a filter here. You can click on filter. You'll see event name contains. I'm just going to use the word court, hit enter, and then my event displays as well. So once again, invited, public, or use the filters to search for the event. Anywhere on this line, you can click to the solicitation to go to the event details page. Remember, this event closes 4/28/2025 at 5 p.m., so please submit your bid early. On the event details page, on the right-hand side panel, you'll see accept invitation and bid on event. The first thing you want to do is click on accept invitation. You'll receive a pop-up window that says invitation accepted, and then you click on bid on event. So prior step, accept invitation, click on bid on event. Your profile information will be sitting here. You'll see submit bid, save for later, cancel, and validate entries on the event details page in Team Georgia Marketplace. Scrolling all the way down using your scroll bar, you'll see submit bid, save for later, and validate entries at the bottom. Okay, let's scroll back up to the top. All right, we're going to give you information regarding the solicitation. We're going to give you that description again, that most important end date for 4/28/2025 at 5 p.m. So please submit your bid early. We're going to give you the issuing officer's contact information again. All right, so you'll see step 1, answer general event questions. We got 19 questions to respond to. Okay, so this is a live event. So let's see, please read through each question accordingly. Now this one you want to attach a file. So you would go to enter file, attachment response. I'm sorry, I clicked over that too fast. You'll click upload. You choose a file. I'm just going to grab something from my desktop. I'm going to click upload. And I'm going to name whatever form is that I had to upload here. Okay, let's click OK. Here we get a tax question. Please read through these questions accordingly. I'm not reading them, but you will read them because you're responding to this event, okay? When you come to the minority-owned business question, please click on Select Response. This will give you a header bid factor pop-up window. You can click on this. We're going to give you a definition of minority-owned business. Choose whichever is applicable to your company. Please remember to read through each one of these questions thoroughly. Remember, it's 19 of them. When you get down to interline bid responses for step 2, this is where you're going to enter in your total cost amount from your cost worksheet. Okay, that was called the total evaluation cost amount from the cost worksheet. So you're going to enter that here. I'm just putting a number here, so it has no bearing. All right, the validate entries that I spoke about earlier, which is at the top and the bottom of the screen, I'm going to click on that, and there's a message at the top of the page. Scroll all the way up. General question number 8 I missed. So let's go back there. And then I'm going to click on validate entries again. All right, so the message you want to receive after completing all your 19 general event questions, adding that attachment and completing step 2 of the cost number, you're going to click no errors found, okay? You want to see no errors found as a pop-up window. Scrolling all the way back down to the page, you're going to see submit bid and save for later again. You're going to see event comments and attachments. You want to click on this hyperlink. Let's move this window up. And as you can see, there are 21 attachments for this event. So you're going to have to use both of your scroll bars to see all 21 attachments. As you can see, each line has view listed by it. So let's click on view. So you're going to do view 21 times. I'm not going to do that today, but I just want you guys to know you're going to do that 21 times. Once that document opens, I'm going to pull it over for you. You're going to click on enable editing. This is that mandatory score document. You're going to action this document, and then you're going to save it. We do recommend that you create a folder on your desktop or something that you'll be able to easily access when you're ready to start uploading and responding to this event. So let me go to my desktop. Let me find my folder, court reporting, and I'm going to drop my document in here. Close that out. Let's go back. So remember, you're going to do this 21 times. View, enable editing. You're going to save this document. And for all the documents that need to be returned, which has been mentioned already in the presentation, you're going to upload those documents to your solicitation response. On this same event comments and attachments pop-up window, this is where you're going to add those new attachments. So you'll click on add new attachments. Just like we did on the bid factor questions, we clicked on upload. You'll do the same thing here. You click on upload. You're going to choose your file. Let's go to my folder. Remember, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, not saying that this is one of the documents that needs to be returned. And then you're going to label that document. When you're ready to add your additional documents on that same line, you'll see add new attachments. You'll click on upload. You'll choose your file. And you'll upload. Remember, please submit your bid early. Technology is our best friend sometimes, but sometimes it can be our worst nightmare. Okay, let's add one more. Say, for instance, you're uploading your documents. You know you've already uploaded your mandatory scored response worksheet. Say you upload it again, but you didn't intentionally mean to upload it again. On that same line, you can click on delete, and that will remove that document from your uploaded attachments. You can respond to this event as often as you like, but remember the last submission for your response will be the one that will be evaluated by the evaluation team. Okay, remember, submit your bid early, but the last bid submitted will be the one that will be evaluated. We've got some communications here for you to read through. You can click through all 4 of those. Those are just a communication. But you'll see here we have add new comments. That types something here for you. please do not enter any comments here. The state of Georgia participates in a sealed bid process. The issuing officer will not read any comments or questions that are listed here. We want you to utilize attachment R, the Q&A template document, to pose your questions, okay? We won't see any of these questions until the bid is closed. So please remember to submit your questions using attachment R, supplier Q&A template. Okay, I'm going to click OK. Say if I was ready to submit my bid on that previous page, remember it's at the top or at the bottom, I would click Submit Bid. What you will then receive is a bid confirmation on your screen. This is going to let you know what time you submitted your event, which was well before that end date, 4/28/2025. Please submit that bid early. And then also the documents that you have used and that you have uploaded for the solicitation. So remember, you want to pay particular attention to from this presentation, which documents need to be returned with the solicitation and compared to what you have submitted. Remember, you can submit your bid as often as you like, but the last bid submitted will be the one that's evaluated by the evaluation team. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come back on camera. I'm going to do a quick recap on what we've reviewed today. We've gone to doas.ga.gov. And once again, I thank you for your time today. And after that, we went to information for suppliers, where we were able to locate the link to the Georgia Procurement Registry. On the Georgia Procurement Registry, we utilize a keyword to search for our event. And once again, we want to submit our bid early. We found our event. We were able to click to submit our response. On the Georgia Procurement Registry, also, I showed you where you can locate NIGP codes, just in case if you need to upload your, need to update your NIGP codes, or if you need to register on Team Georgia Marketplace. So once we clicked on Submit Your Response, we went over to Team Georgia Marketplace, where I showed you the user registration option if you're uncertain on how to register, and then how to register on our application. Once we logged in, we were able to locate our event. Either it could be a public event, we can be invited, or we can use the search filter to locate the event. We accepted the invitation, then we clicked on Bid on Event. We answered our general event questions. We completed step 2. We made sure that we received a No Errors Found pop-up window. We then went to our comments and attachments, where we want to view each one of those documents. We want to enable editing, and they want to save them. We're going to upload those completed documents that we have to action, and then we also want to make sure that we utilize the Q&A template to pose any questions for the solicitation. Once we do that, we can click on Submit, and we will get a bid confirmation screen that lets us know which documents that we submitted and the time that we completed our solicitation upload. Please remember, if you run into any issues regarding a solicitation, any technical issues, you're going to reach out to our procurement help desk at procurementhelp@doas.ga.gov, or you can contact them via phone at 404-657-6000. Any questions regarding a solicitation, you want to reach out to your issuing officer. I'm going to turn it back over, and thank you guys for your time.
Thank you so much, Osborne. I think Osborne has gone over this last slide already, and I don't know if we've expressed it enough to please submit your bids early so that you're not waiting down to the last minute. Again, the proposals are due April 28th at 5 p.m. I hope that this conference has given you some clarity and will be an assistance with you submitting your bids. And thank you all for attending. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, if you want to place them in the chat or the Q&A chat, and I'll give you all a couple of minutes or a few minutes to do that in case you all have questions. I don't see anyone typing. Yes, as a reminder, please submit your questions in the Q&A attachment by the deadline in attachment A. That deadline has actually passed. It was on April 4th. But if you have additional questions, you can put them in the chat here, and they will be responded to at the response deadline on April 11th. It looks like we don't have any questions, and I will take that as a sign that everyone was given some good instructions and good information today. Thank you all for being in attendance. Again, this presentation, the recording will be uploaded to the bid, and you will be able to review that. Thank you so much, Osborne, for assisting with this, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Thank you.